In order to create the reality that you desire, you have to have an awareness, or you have to know how everything is created in your universe. And when you have the understanding of how everything is created, then your mind works better in response to the creation process. All right. So let me begin. See, quantum mechanics is basically the study of the smallest quantum particle of atoms. Quantum particles include the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, and atomic decay force. These particles are made up of small particles we have known as atoms, protons, electrons, neutrons. And if you go even smaller, these atoms have what they call quarks. Quarks are the smallest particles. And if we go even smaller, we come to energy. So we know everything is comprised of energy. All right, so we have two physicists. Basically, I would like to call them the father of physicists. One we're all aware of is Albert Einstein. He created the theory of relativity. And the other one you probably haven't heard of, his name is Niels Bohr. Basically, Niels Bohr discovered that these quantum particles, or these atoms, they behave at what we call duality. Duality means they behave as waves and they behave as an event. Okay? So what that basically means is that the universe is created in a wave of probability. Wave of probability means that atom exists in a way that all outcome, or all probable outcome, exists at one time. So that means every outcome, every instant that you can think of or desire, there's already a version of existence. All right. Now, Albert Einstein found this very, very difficult to believe. Matter of fact, he said in response to this, he says to Niels Bohr, he said, God doesn't play dice with the universe. God doesn't work on chances. Okay. Niels Bohr responded back to Albert Einstein saying, stop telling God what to do. Okay. So basically, Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr believed that, proving that these particles behave as waves and as duality, meaning that they exist as an event, an actuality, and they exist as chances. Okay, so that's the quantum part. Now, the other thing about the quantum particles are these. These particles vibrate. They vibrate at certain frequencies. Okay, frequencies you would liken to a radio station where you have your different frequencies you tune into. So when these particles, they vibrate in certain frequencies. And these frequencies, you can tune into these frequencies, and once you match the frequency, then you automatically attract like frequencies, because everything is magnetically energetic, including you and I. We're all energy, so the universe is energy. So you attract what you put out, and it comes into your existence. All right, that's the first part I want to talk about. One thing I want to say too. Now, look, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will start to change. Right? I'll repeat that again. So basically, if you change the way you look at things you look at will start to change. What does that mean? That basically means that once you focus and see things the way you would like them to become, or they like to desire, then the things you look at change. Because remember, quantum physics, these particles, these atomic particles, or I like to call them quantum or quanta energy waves, they vibrate and they oscillate. It means that they're in 3 dimensions, right? We live in 3 dimensions. Actually, we have 4 dimensions of reality that we exist. Time and space is considered a dimension. So these quantum particles, you can influence them, all right? There's an experiment done. It's called the double slit experiment, where scientists shoot particles of light or photons into a slit. Just to make it easier. Once you're not observing these particles, they behave in accordance to the way you want them to. But once you detach your attention from them, they behave as waves. Waves of probabilities, meaning waves of different chances or encounters that it can happen to, okay? And recently, science found that you can actually have an influence on these quantum particles. You can collapse the particles to behave in accordance with your observation, meaning that your consciousness, your mind, can have an influence on these particles to create a certain desire that you wish to accomplish, right? So that's the quantum. That's the scientific part. So knowing that, now you have control over your reality. You can actually influence, change these particles into what states that you want them to become. All right. So, now let's talk about how your reality is actually created, your perception you see. All right. So say this is how reality is created. You have light, which is called photon. These light are emitted. They will go into your sensory notion. They go into your brain, into your cerebral cortex, where they are processed through your conscious, your subconscious, and we talked about the critical faculty. Let's just call this critical factor. The process through that critical factor. That critical factor determines if the event, the situation you're seeing is believable, and it transfers out into your reality. So these light photons, so your brain brings in the light photons, you create a signal, you create the touches through your five senses, and the signal is then percepted back out into your reality, and that's how you see your reality. So we have a key clue here that the mind, the brain, it starts everything, all right? Now, the creator of all this is known as your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has what is known as unlimited energy. It is connected to the universe or source energy or this quantum field of probabilities. Now, here's a key point to consider. When I say quantum field of probabilities, what I'm saying is that the universe exists as chances. There's a probability of every. That's why you'll see. Let's use the lottery. That's why you can see somebody that doesn't play the lottery or never played in his life. He goes and buys a ticket and he wins, because that is a probability of chance. That's how we thought the universe was created. It's just a big chance. Remember, Albert Einstein says to Niels Bohr, if God doesn't play dice with the universe, and Niels Bohr responded back to Albert Einstein saying, stop telling me what to do. So the universe exists as these waves of probabilities, meaning that there's a version of you rich, a version of you poor, a version of you wealthy, whatever you want to say, but it all depends on what you focus your consciousness on. So if you focus on wealth and manifesting riches, job house, then that will vibrate accordingly. But if you focus on lack or worry or doubt, fear, then guess what? That will also come into your existence more. But here's a key point that we discovered. God actually doesn't play dice with the universe. It doesn't actually work. It works both ways. Listen, you can either live in a universe, create your reality by chance, and just go with the flow and hope for something to happen, or you can actually create it yourself and have an influence on the quantum particle. That means that you can collapse these quantum particles, because remember, everything is made of these particles, including you and I, your energy. So you can actually collapse these quantum particles into creating your desired results. You can actually collapse the particles to win the lottery, to buy the house, to get the car. You don't have to worry about chance or hope or anything. But the key to do that is through your consciousness, your subconscious mind. And a lot of us, we go through our lives daily, we're not even aware of this process. So the key to create your reality is your consciousness. Your conscious mind collapses these quantum particles to take that theory of probability into an actuality, all right? It takes the probability of chance, and it turns the chance into a definite actuality. And you do that through focusing your thoughts and your emotions. Once you do that, once you master that, then guess what? It comes into your reality as an existence, as something you can witness, something you can feel through your sense.